All right. Hello. Okay. So how do you select your courses for commerce? Okay, so the goals of this session are to understand your required courses for Rotman Commerce, understanding what your guarantee means, and what marks you need to get, strategies for selecting electives and managing your schedule, understanding the timetable, how to read it, how to enroll, how to select your courses, and also strategies for getting involved. Okay, you ready? Okay. So hopefully you feel like this guy. The ultimate goal of the session is that you feel excellent about your going into first year and just knowing what you have to do and in terms of course selection. One of your resources, main resources, is the Rotman Commerce website, which I'll go to it very quickly. Is basically tells you if you go to newly admitted students, it basically tells you all the different things you need to know, such as the requirements for you to maintain your guaranteed admission, courses that you have to take, marks that you have to get in these courses. Okay. Okay. The registration instructions and timetable. So this website is to be used in conjunction with your calendar. So you need, although your courses are going to be pre-enrolled for you, any electives that you take you'll be responsible for adding. So you'll need to use the information in the calendar that you learned in the last session, as well in conjunction with the registration instructions and timetable to construct your your schedule for next year. Okay, about Rotman Commerce. Rotman Commerce is a partnership between the Faculty of Arts and Science and the Rotman School of Management. So the Rotman School of Management offers a number of graduate degrees, like the MBA, executive MBA, different graduate level programs. And the Rotman Commerce program is an undergraduate program that is also, so as a Rotman student, you will be taking courses from the Faculty of Arts and Science as well as from the Rotman School of Management. If you are admitted to the Rotman Commerce stream, you have an automatic spot in one of their specialist programs as long as you meet the minimum grades of the first year courses that you need to take. You also have the opportunity to enjoy many other options in that the Faculty of Arts and Science, the other Faculty of Arts and Science students do, courses and even other programs. So a lot of the Rotman Commerce students actually, in addition to doing their specialist in commerce, they may also select a major in economics or even a minor in a completely different area. So that is an option open to you, even though you're doing the BCom degree. You have the option of adding other programs as well that are outside of Rotman. Once in the Rotman program, you have near exclusive access to all the RSM or the Rotman Commerce courses. So these courses are restricted to students that are in your program. So there are 3 different streams: accounting, finance, and economics and management. So, and then within accounting, there are 2 different specialists you can do, either public accounting or financial reporting and control. So really depending on what areas you're interested in, you can select the specialist that speaks to you the most and which you're most interested in. Under management, there's an option for doing a focus in one of 4 areas, either finance, leadership in organizations, marketing, or strategy and innovation. And on that Rotman Commerce website, under the resources, I don't think they've posted this yet, but there will be some overviews of what these specialists are about, or you can actually just go in and talk to someone in the Rotman Commerce office if you're not sure which area you want to go into. Good thing about first year, again, is that you don't have to choose your specific area right now. So all students, if you meet your guarantee requirements, you would be placed in the management specialist, and then you can switch around to one of the other programs if you're more interested in those. So degree requirements, You probably learned in the last session about using the calendar what the general degree requirements are. So I'm just going to go over this very briefly. As you remember, you need 20 credits to graduate, maximum of 6 at the 100 level, minimum of 6 at the 300 or 400 level. You do need to have at least 1 at the 400 level. Minimum of this requirement is different from the other 2 degrees, Honors Bachelor of Arts and Honors Bachelor of Science. For the BCom, you do need at least 10, so half of your degree has to be RSM courses or courses offered by Rotman Commerce, and the other 10 has to be non-RSM courses, so other arts and science courses like economics, statistics, and all of your other electives and courses that you're taking for your breadth requirement. So you do need to have half and half in order to graduate. Program requirements, it must be one of the 3 different specialists that we saw. Breadth requirement, you also need to complete. And same thing with the GPA, CGPA, you do need a 1.85 in order to graduate with the BCom. Required first-year courses you must have, and these are the courses on which your admission to Rotman Commerce is based. So you do need to complete RSM 100H, the 2 economics courses, 101 and 102, as well as first-year calculus course. So most students will take the Math 133. That's the math course for students going into social science programs. But there are other math courses you can take in first year to fulfill this requirement. So depending on what you are also interested in doing, like if you're very strong in math, for example, or have a very strong background in math, you might want to choose to do the Math 137 instead. And that's just fine in terms of fulfilling that first year admission, the admission requirements for commerce. First, the RSM 100 is the Intro to Management. So this is just a brief description of the course. And you do need a minimum of 67% in this course in order to get into, to maintain your guarantee and get into the program. The 2 economics courses you need are Eco 101 and 102. So this is the micro and macroeconomics. These courses are the foundation for all of the 2nd year level and upper year Eco courses. And you do need to have at least a 63 in each course. Did anyone here receive transfer credit for economics? No, okay. So that doesn't actually apply. But yeah, so you do need at least a 63% in each course in order to maintain the guarantee and get in. Math 133, this is calculus and linear algebra for commerce. So again, this course is specifically for students going into commerce or social science programs that require math. And it's also the foundation for 2nd year level Eco courses. So the economic courses don't only require the 1st year Eco, it also requires you to have 1st year calculus as well. So that's is one of the prerequisites. And you need at least a 63 in a math course. Alternatives are the other math courses that I already mentioned. So there are 3, I guess, other levels of courses you can take. They're all 100 level courses, but within the math department, they offer other alternative courses for students going into programs that perhaps need a stronger foundation in math. Math 135 and 136 are generally for students that are going into one of the life sciences programs. 137 is for students who are interested in going to computer science, actuarial science, and statistics. Those are that's a higher, slightly more difficult course in calculus. And if you take that, you need a 55%. Sorry, the 135 and 136, you would need a 60 if you choose to take those 2 courses as your first year calculus. And then finally, Math 157 is for students who are really into math and also want to perhaps pursue a physics program or like a math major in addition to the commerce program. They would suggest that you take Math 157, and the minimum mark you need to get in that is a 55. And actually in the at the lunch, this is one suggestion. If you're not sure which math course to take, there will be someone from the math department that you can talk to, and they can tell you a bit more about the differences in all the different math first year courses. So the guarantee. So what do you have to do in order to get into commerce next year? By the end of your first year. So you do need to meet within 1 calendar year all of these requirements. So what that means is that if, say, during the fall winter, things don't go as well as you had hoped, and maybe one of your courses you fell below the cutoff. So say the Math 133, you took Math 133, but you only got a 60. So you didn't meet the minimum grade requirement. You are allowed to repeat a required course once. So you are allowed to take summer school and retake the course. The second attempt that you take, if you take the course for a second time, something that you've already passed, the second attempt is made extra. Which means it's not going to count in your GPA. It's not going to count as another credit towards your 20 credits because you've already received credit. But you can use that mark to get into a particular program that has a specific entry requirement that you didn't meet the first time around. So in order for you to still be considered for the commerce program, you have until the end of this summer to complete all of the entry requirements. So if you need to retake a course, you can do that in the summer, and still be considered for the program. It's just that your entry into the program won't be until sometime in September once your marks are all out for the summer session. So troubleshooting, the guarantee is non-negotiable. So the Commerce Department is quite strict about you meeting all the requirements in first year, but don't stress yourself out over, I mean, I know it's important for you to get into commerce, but, as long as if there are problems, make sure that you take care of them soon and take care of them early. Because the earlier if you do run into issues, the earlier you come in, or earlier you seek help, the more options you would have. So just make sure you be proactive and ask for help. Ask for help in the courses if you're struggling. Get advice from both the Rotman Commerce Programs Office and or the Innis Registrar's Office. Use all the support services. Rotman Commerce has a ton of support services just specifically for commerce students. And it's actually all, this is the building where a lot of your courses will take place, and where a lot of the Rotman Commerce resources are. So use them. And talk to your fellow students. BCom students actually have it's a very close-knit community here at U of T. Rotman Commerce is almost like a college in itself, in that there's a different convocation. 4 years from now, there is a different convocation just for BCom students, so definitely talk to your fellow students and and ask for help, or ask for help from the appropriate people, but talk to your fellow students about different opportunities that are available in commerce, and advice about what courses to take, that kind of thing. But definitely talk to us in the registrar's office, or the Rotman Commerce office if it's anything sort of academic related. Recommended Ramen courses. So there are a few courses, as I mentioned earlier, you are pre-enrolled in your first year courses, as well as your some of these second year courses. And these courses are they are required for it gives you an in-depth understanding of accounting, finance, and marketing. And which will help you choose which specialists when you're going into second year. They may not be mandatory for all of these specialists, but you are pre-enrolled in them. You can drop these courses if you want to select more electives. Like if you know for sure you don't want to go into accounting and maybe don't need to take the financial accounting course for the specific program you're going into. You don't necessarily have to take it, or if you decide that you want to take this in the second year, you can. It's not something that you have to take all in first year, but the Rotman Commerce will pre-enroll you in all of these courses in case you do want to take them in first year. And the second year level courses will count towards the required 4 credits for you to get into the program or any program. And then when for your first year is done, other Faculty of Arts and Science students will have to request or add programs. You don't need to do that. So you can just wait for your BCom invitation, and you can enroll in other programs as an arts and science student. So if you're interested at that point to add, say, a minor in mathematics or something like that, you can add it at that point. But your actual BCom specialist, you will be, providing you meet all the entry requirements by the end of the fall-winter session, you will be given an invite to the invitation to the management specialist. And at that point, you can switch. If you're interested in the public accounting program instead, you can switch into that or another program by late September when the deadline rolls around. Are there any questions so far? No. So pre-enrollment, again, Rotman will pre-enroll all commerce students into the following courses. So all of this adds up to 4 full credits. If you are interested in switching out, so if you're interested in switching out of the Math 133 and maybe taking a different calculus course, you can do that once your course enrollment window opens on the 26th. And you will be able to select other courses as well as your other elective. And you likely won't know the timing of your pre-enrolled courses until your enrollment window opens. It may be there by July 20th, which is the start. Which is the date that you can check your enrollment start time. Okay, but you'll be placed in one of the sections that are specifically the economics. Like you'll be placed in the section that's particularly for Rotman Commerce students. Yes. 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 So July, so that's the difference. So there's 2 dates. July 20th is when you can log on to the Acorn system to find out what your enrollment start time will be. So your enrollment start time is basically the first time that you can log into the system on the 26th to do your other course selections. So on the 20th, you might find out, oh, okay, my start time is at 11:55 a.m. So that is the time that's the earliest time you can log in on July 26th to do the changes and to do your course selection. Yeah. So elective course options. So you do have 1 credit to play with if you decide to keep all of all 4 of the pre-enrolled courses. Things that you can think about as to courses to explore are, language courses. Do you have other interests? Do you have any other programs that you might want to do, like a minor or a major that might have a first-year required course? Courses like the breadth requirement that you would have heard about in the last session. As part of your degree requirement, you do have to complete courses outside of your main area of study. So you might want to get started on those. Special first-year courses. So this is your only chance to enroll. So courses like the foundational year programs, the ones. First year seminars, those are, first year is the only year that you can take those courses. So you might want to take advantage and select one of those. But have a few options ready because you don't know the timing of your pre-enrolled courses. So you might want to make a few schedules, put together a few schedules so that you can slot these electives in, because you might end up getting into a particular section that conflicts with, one of the electives that you've chosen. Remember that CR credit, no credit can be useful for those elective options. So if you're going into a course that you're not too familiar with or a subject area that you're not too familiar with, not sure how you're going to do, you can use the credit, no credit option. One note about the credit, no credit option, it is something that you can apply up until the drop deadline, the academic drop deadline of the course. So you don't have to decide right at the beginning that you're going to take a course for credit, no credit. Because sometimes a lot of times when I've talked to students, they enroll in a course that is in a completely different area, but they're pleasantly surprised that they actually are doing quite well in it, and it will actually help their GPA. So it wouldn't make sense in that case to take the course as credit, no credit, because it could actually help their GPA. So yes. No, so you, as I said, they will pre-enroll you in those courses, but you can change them around. Like you don't have to, like those 200 level courses, you don't necessarily have to take in first year. You may not even need it for the program, the specific program that you want to go into. So if you want to wait till second year to take those, you can do that. So if you want to drop those and add something else, that's possible. Same thing with the math. So you don't have to stick with those particular choices. So if there is something, so they do pre-enroll you in specific sections. So if there's a different section that maybe works better for your schedule, like maybe they put you in a night class and you don't want to take any night classes, you want to switch that, you can do that on the 26th. You can switch sections. It's just that those are the sections that they put you into, and then but if there's other sections you want, then you can switch that later. Was there another question in the back? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Courses, yeah. Mm-hmm. No, I think there's a couple of marketing and the public account. I don't know. I'd have to look. I'd have to check. We'll check later the requirements for all of the specialists to see if they're required courses for all of the programs. The reason why they pre-enroll, Rotman pre-enrolls you in the set of 4 courses, because I think it's to keep the cohort. So they would like students, say, entering in 2018-19 to be taking all these courses and to sort of move along in the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th year, taking the same set of courses, so that it keeps like all the students together in the same class, that kind of thing. But it's really up to you if you want to defer those, like if you want to take those courses later on. It's not, you don't have to do them in 1st year. Mm-hmm. No, I guess it's just those, just those 3. It would be just those 3 that are pre-enrolled. There may be others, but I don't think there's that many that you can take, because a lot of them might have the RSM 100 as a prerequisite, in which case you probably can't take them until 2nd. There's definitely many other 2nd year courses in Rotman, but those ones might expect that you have some prerequisites that you complete in 1st year. Okay, elective options to explore. Talked about this very briefly, about the 1st year foundations and the 1st year seminar courses. Another option you might want to explore, and this is not for credit, but it's the 1st year learning community, or the FLIC. Has anyone heard of the FLIC program or received some information about it? Okay. So it's not for credit, but it does appear on the transcript. So there is at Innis, there is a 1st year learning community for students in commerce. And it's basically, there's more information in the next pages here. Sure, we'll skip ahead a little bit. Yeah, so the 1st year learning community, what it is a non-credit course, but it's a group that shares the same lecture sections in key commerce courses, and you don't need to enroll yourself. It is something that you need to apply for. So it's basically a session where you do fun activities. It's led by 2 peer mentors. So it'll be 2 students in Rotman Commerce, and they're peer mentors, as well as there's a staff advisor and also a faculty member within Commerce that leads these sessions and do fun activities that sort of touch on different areas, transitional areas, academic, developmental, and social. And these are special sessions that take place on Wednesday afternoons from 1:30 to 3. Again, this is non-credit, but it's something in addition to your degree, or in addition to your studies in 1st year. Where you basically get to spend an hour and a half with the same students that are in all of your other classes, because you're all in the same lecture sections. And at this point, the applications are open, and you have until July 13th to apply. And so if this is something that you might be interested in doing, you can certainly still apply at this point. And then the results will come out in late July as to whether you're admitted into the program. Okay, and again, this is just something in addition to your studies, and it's not for credit. Did you have a question? No, oh, just young. Okay, so going back, one more. So 1st year foundation, you may have touched on this in the last presentation. These are the different options that you have to take courses. These are strictly elective courses that don't lead to any specific programs. But they're small classes and they help you adjust to university life. Some applications are still open at this time. And you don't have to belong to a particular college. So there's a first year foundation course from each college, and as well as the Monk Center. So you don't have to. So if you are interested in one that's offered at say New College, you can certainly apply to the New College one. It's not affiliated with your college, or it's not affiliated with which college you belong to. So you're eligible to take ones from other colleges. First year seminars, these are very small classes that are organized by breadth category. So this is a great way to complete your breadth requirement. Courses are outside your main area of study. And you can only enroll in up to 1 credit in your first year, but also first year is the only year you can take it. So this might be an opportunity if you're looking for an elective. This might be something that you want to do. First year seminar courses also don't lead to any specific program of study. So you can't use it to enter another, like a minor, or major. So it is a course that's taken strictly as an elective, but they do count for breadth requirements. So it's a good way to complete your breadth that way. Got that. Okay, so next we have the using the timetable. So the registration instructions and timetable, which we looked at earlier. Yes. Yes, I think it will be, yes, it will definitely, because if you do get into the FLIC, you are also pre-enrolled in those sections because they want to make sure that they've enrolled everyone in the same FLIC in the same sections. So yes, yeah, so you'll definitely know before course enrollment begins on the 26th. Yeah, you may not know before the 20th, which is the start time, but as long as, yeah, I think you find out a few days before the first day of enrollment. Yeah. Welcome. Okay, so the registration instructions and timetable gives you the dates and deadlines and steps for course enrollment and registration. I think one of your handouts in your package has the different steps to registration, which involves course enrollment and also fees payment. So there's just a brief summary there. Timetables are the timetable is what tells you, it tells you when a particular class is offered. Okay, and also information on enrolling and fees and things like that. So that's the registration instructions or from earlier. In a specific section, course code also gets a section code, which tells you when the course actually takes place. So again, we probably looked at that in the last session. For the fall winter session, Y section code course goes from September to April. F and S will take place in September to December or January to April. And then this is how to read the timetable. So we're going to go into the timetable website to just play around a little bit to find out how you select courses. So this is the course, basically the course listings. And oops. So you can either search by department. So for example, math. Okay, and then if you do the search for courses, it comes up with 89 results of all the courses that are offered by the affiliated with the math department. And you can scroll down for the different lecture sections, tutorial sections that are available. So the Math 133 was the first one that we saw. So as a Ramen Commerce student, you will be enrolled in one of these lecture sections. And I believe the tutorials you have to choose yourself, and that I forget. But anyway, you will know before your course enrollment begins whether you need to select a tutorial section as well. For students who are admitted to the FLIC, I believe you're enrolled in the same tutorials, but again, I'm not sure. Pretty sure that the enrollment is just for the lecture, and it's up to you to choose the tutorial section that works in your schedule. So the timings of the courses are listed here. The activity, so the different types of activities, the lecture, tutorial, practical, you can tell by the colors as well as the activity code. So LEC 0101 is just the code for lecture section. 0101 tells you the time of the course, how much space is available, and whether there's a wait list. Okay, the room assignments and instructor information is not out just yet. It's not available just yet, but it will be available later on in the summer. Okay, you can also search by, if you want to put in Math 133, type that in, and then it narrows down just so it just pulls up the information from Math 133. Okay. And you can use the advanced search function to further narrow down. So in that math, for example, if I go back to math and say I will only want courses, say only want courses in first year level, you can do that as a filter. Waitlist. Okay, yeah. So say you want to filter for that, you can, if you do a search, then it will come up with just 9 courses, and these are all courses at the first year level that fit the criteria, math and first year. The enrollment controls. So actually, we didn't look at that. Let's go back. Yeah, so enrollment controls in this area here tells you the different, so enrollment controls tell you whether or not you can enroll in a course at this time, whether it's restricted. There are the ones that you will run into most often are the P and the E and the R1. P means priority, so it means that some students are given priority access until a specific date. So, so some courses might, so for example, the chemistry courses might give priority to students who are admitted to the life sciences or math and physical science, in which case students who are not admitted into those categories might have to wait until the priority is lifted before enrolling. E courses are enrolled at the department, which means the enrollment is not done on Acorn. You have to go through the department. And R1 courses are restricted in that it's restricted at all times for specific students. So a lot of the RSM courses in upper years, as I mentioned, are actually restricted to you guys, to students who are actually enrolled in the program. So students who are not enrolled in the program are not allowed to take it. And you can find out the enrollment control for each of these courses under here. There's a yellow tab that, and if you expand it, it tells you who the course is, the priority is given to. So in this case, priority is given to students who are year 1 commerce and year 1 social sciences. So students in the life sciences or math and physical sciences, they don't have priority to take it. If they want to take this course, they will have to wait until the priority is lifted. And it tells you here that beginning August 3rd, all arts and science students can enroll in this section. So they would have to wait until August the 3rd to enroll. Again, we've gone over that, the 3 different ones that you'll likely run into in first year course selection. Math 137 for enrollment controls. Let's see. Yeah, so this we looked at as well. We looked at Math 133, but similarly, this tells you who the course gives priority to and when they can enroll. And there is an option to add to a plan. So in the timetable, if you are interested in, when you're making your plan for your timetable, say you want to take, in your case, again, this won't matter because you'll be pre-enrolled in sections anyways, but say you're looking at a different course and you want to add it to your plan, like a planner, you can just click this and then you can actually view your timetable plan, and it tells you, this just puts it in a grid and tells you when you have class. So you can do this for all of the courses that you plan to take in first year and put together a timetable plan. Tutorials, so courses that have lists lectures and tutorials and practicals. Make sure that you choose one of each. So you do need to choose a lecture, tutorial, and a practical. Again, I think in terms of the pre-enrollment, I think you're only pre-enrolled in the lectures, so you may have to choose your own tutorials. But just take a look when you before July 26th to see what you've been enrolled in. And if you haven't been enrolled in a tutorial, then make sure you go in on that day to choose your tutorial. And again, add to plan. So some courses also have practical components. So practicals are for classes with courses with labs. And those are in a different color as well, in pink or red. But make sure you pick a section if a course has a practical component. So you do have to choose one of each if it has one, because it's actually not, it's mandatory for you to attend all 3 evaluations if a particular course has all 3. Waitlists. So not all courses have waitlists, but most of them do. So waitlists are only available for lecture sections only. So these are courses that perhaps become full by the time you enroll. So in some cases, you might run into maybe you, as one of your electives, you want to choose a course that has a priority indicator, but you don't meet the priority category. So say you want to take a course that right now gives priority to humanities students. So you may have to wait until August 3rd to add it. So if by that time the course is full, but the course has a waiting list, you have the option of joining the waiting list. And then if the system will basically keep trying for you. So if someone drops the course, then that space is immediately opened up and then everyone moves up the wait list. Okay, so that's something you can use to try to get into a course that is currently full. Notification of being added to courses, like all emails, can get lost. So you do get emailed whenever you get enrolled in a course through the waitlist, but just make sure you check your email, or make sure you check your account, your Acorn account, to make sure that you know which courses you've been enrolled in, because you don't want to, surprise in second week and say, oh, I didn't know that I actually got into this course, and you haven't been going, you keep missing classes. So yeah, you just want to make sure that you track that. You can add to a wait list of up to 2 credits, which counts towards the enrollment limit. So if we mentioned earlier that you can take up to, we recommend that you don't take more than 5 courses, but you are allowed to add up to 6. But they do, the courses that are taking up space, they do count within that enrollment limit. So just keep that in mind when you're doing your course selections. Okay, but be reasonable. So if a course has 200 people on the wait list and your number 150, but there's only maybe 70 spots in the class, most likely you're not going to get in through the wait list. But the way the wait list works is that usually it gets turned off prior to the last day of enrollment. So enrollment usually happens for the first, or the deadline to enroll in courses is up until the end of the second week of classes. So usually the wait lists turn off a few days before that. So within those last few days before the last day to enroll, you can actually keep checking the system to see if someone has dropped out of the course. And if they do, because there's no wait list left at that point, you can try to join the class at that point. So it's really about checking as frequently as possible at that point. Course and term load, again, we talked about this. 5 is the recommended maximum for first-year courses, first-year students, and for all students in general, but 6 is the maximum overall. And you can only take up to a maximum of 6 in each term, but you should stick with the 5 and 5. Scheduling balancing, make sure that you enroll in courses that for both terms. Both in the first term and the second term. Even though your second term classes don't start until January, you should still select them on July 26th. This is just a timetable example of what your schedule may look like. And if you use that timetable plan we looked at earlier, you might want to select a few that are sort of elective courses that, in addition to your commerce courses, so in this case, I've selected 2 courses, an Italian course and a French course. So just as a possible elective, because sometimes these courses might also have, remember, they might have priority indicators as well, or they might be full. Language courses tend to be smaller, so they may fill up quicker. So you might want to have a couple options available. Same thing for second term. So your dates, you need to check your start time on July 20th. So it's not first come, first served on July 20th. So you can check any time after on the 20th, 21st. So it's not like you get an earlier time. The earlier you check, that's already pre-assigned by the faculty. On the 26th, you can enroll at your start time. You can add up until the 26th, you can add only up to 5 credits. And then beginning on August the 3rd, when the priorities come off, you can add up to 1 more credit. And then the fees payment deadline is, okay, this is the wrong link because this is from last year. But the fees payment deadline is August the 29th. And in order to complete your registration, you have to have both have enrolled in your courses and paid or deferred your fees. And the deadline to do this is August 29th. You pay fees like you pay your other bills at a bank using online using your invoice information. And your minimum payment to register is shown on your invoice. And there will be some information later in the afternoon session on the money matters, which we'll go into more detail on that. Yes, you had a question? The first day that you can start to pay your fees is July 16th. That's when your invoice will actually be displayed on Acorn. Yeah. But you can wait until after you've done your courses selection, but that's the very first day. Important notes, beware that prerequisites and co-requisites are not, and exclusions are not checked by Acorn. So the system will allow you to add a course that you're not really supposed to. So if a course, say, didn't have any enrollment controls and it's like a 400 level course, if you try to add it on Acorn, you will be able to. It's not actually checking for anything it's not checking for any prerequisites. So it's up to you as a student to check that. Acorn will notify if you enroll in courses with a time conflict, but it won't stop you from doing that as well. So make sure you don't do that because obviously you can't be in 2 places at once. There are a few dates during the summer where there's no course enrollment allowed. So August 2nd, 7th, and 9th is when the system will still be open. You'll be able to log in. It's just that you won't be able to make any course changes. So make sure you don't make any course changes on those dates. Special note on fees for commerce, for the students in Rotman Commerce in first year, your fees are the same as all the other first Faculty of Arts and Science students. But once you join commerce, your fees will go up after first year. Okay, and there's some information about fees there. And finally, the commerce community, as I mentioned earlier, there is a very close-knit community here. There's lots of resources for you in this building, especially lots of student life and student groups in Rotman, and there's lots of the online resources available on the Rotman Commerce website. And then there are actually a few commerce chats that are coming up in the next couple of months. So you can check that out, but all the information is on the Rotman Commerce website, and you can find out, you can talk to other students, talk to the staff and some faculty members within Rotman, and these are in-person welcome chats for students, and you can find out sort of what it's like to be a student in Rotman Commerce. So Ask a Student is a website where you can ask questions, and this particular site is actually managed by the Innis College student staff in the Innis College Registrar's Office, and it's run by students. So all the answers are from the student perspective, and so if there's anything you want to ask, what it's like to be a Rotman student, what's this course like, what's, how to navigate the resources on campus. This is one place that you can ask your question. Of course, you can always speak to us in the registrar's office, but if you do want that student perspective, you can go through here as well for lots of useful and funny information. They have a great Twitter account as well, so you can follow the Ask a Student Twitter. And now that's my last slide, and it's lunchtime. So I've gone over a little bit, but I hope I've answered all your questions. I will be here for a few minutes if you want to ask, but I'm also going to be at the lunch. So, so enjoy your lunch. Thank you. Okay, and everyone knows where to go, right? It's basically back to Innis, but across the street in the residence building. What's that? Stop. Oh, stop. Here? Yes. Okay.